You're listening to Psych to Parent, where we turn brain science into tiny wins at home. I'm Dr. Amy, your not-so-typical school psychologist, mom of two, and endurance athlete. I love a good data set and a diagnostic manual, but I also forget permission slips, overthink IEP emails, and occasionally replay the moment I snapped at my kids in the car. In other words, I'm in the messy middle with you, not above it. This show is for parents of big feeling, big thinking kids who are tired of vague advice and Pinterest perfect behavior charts. Each episode, I'll pull back the curtain on what I see in real evaluations, school meetings, my private practice, and my own kitchen, and translate the research into simple scripts, tiny routines, and nervous system friendly tweaks you can actually use. Think of it as a nervous system rehab meets mindset coaching meets a smart, slightly spicy, non-judgy friend in your earbuds. We'll take one real life challenge at a time and shrink it down into 1 or 2 tiny wins you can start this week. No perfection, no 47-step sticker systems, just small, repeatable shifts that add up over time. Quick legal-ish note in plain English. This podcast is for education and support. It's not therapy, it does not create a clinical relationship, and it's not a substitute for personalized medical or mental health advice. If you're worried about your child's safety or mental health, or your own, please reach out to a trusted professional. Okay, deep breath, drop your shoulders. You're not behind and you're not alone. Let's get psyched to parent. Picture this. It's 10 a.m., your laptop is open, your coffee is still warm, and your brain is finally online. And you're thinking, if I can just get like 45 minutes, not a whole day, just 45 minutes, I can finish something. I can feel like a real person. And then you hear it. I'm bored. And your shoulders jump before your brain can even catch up. Because in a sibling house, boredom is not quiet. Boredom is combustible. It turns into, he touched me. She's staring at me. He's doing it on purpose. Make her play with me. Tell him to stop. And you can feel your brain start auditioning solutions. Snack, outside, a craft, a show, a bribe. Do I need to get the tablets out? Because you're not just trying to solve boredom. You're trying to prevent the sibling blow-up that you know is coming. If this is your house, welcome. You're not alone. And if you're listening from the bathroom, I respect your choices. Sometimes I record in my laundry room. And here's the line I want to give your brain right up front. Boredom is a cue, not a crisis. And that exact 10 a.m. moment is why we need a plan that doesn't require you to improvise all summer long. Welcome back to Psych to Parent. I'm Dr. Amy, school psychologist, parent coach, and mom of 2 big-hearted, big-brained, big-feeling kiddos. This episode is not a summer schedule episode. It's not a structure your whole day episode. This is a sibling dynamic episode. This is what I do when I'm bored, turns into poking, tattling, demand play meltdowns, you getting pulled in every 3 minutes. Here's my promise, super clear. By the end of this episode, you know exactly what to say when boredom turns into sibling conflict. And you'll have a simple protocol you can run without becoming the referee. And I'm going to repeat this line because it's the whole point. Boredom is a cue, not a crisis. Before I give you the protocol, let's name why boredom turns into sibling fighting so fast. So you stop thinking this is bad kids or bad parenting. Now here's what's going on. Boredom is uncomfortable. For some kids, it's peaceful. For other kids, especially big feeling kids, intense kids, bright kids with fast brains, boredom can feel like agitation, like the brain is pacing. Sometimes I think it's like the brain's on a spin cycle. So their nervous system goes looking for input. And in a sibling house, the fastest, closest source of input is the sibling. A poke gets a reaction, a complaint recruits the parent, a demand creates a negotiation. So the system accidentally trains it, not because you want it to, because it works. And here's the non-shamey reframe. A lot of sibling fighting is not bad behavior. It's a skills gap plus nervous system stuff. It's they don't have a plan, plus they want stimulation, plus they don't have the skills to handle no, disappointment, and boredom without poking. That's our school psych lens. What's going on for them, not what's wrong with them. And now let me give you a really practical lens that instantly lowers guilt. Sibling roles. In a lot of sibling houses, the same conflict shows up in different costumes because kids fall into roles. Not forever, not as labels, just as patterns. Here are 4 common roles I hear about in my practice. Role number 1 is the instigator. Now, this is the kid who needs stimulation. They're not trying to ruin your day. Their brain is understimulated, or maybe it's overbuzzing, and they go looking for input. So they poke, they narrate, they provoke. The second role is the rule lawyer. Now, this kid is very into justice. Everything is unfair. Everything needs a ruling. They tattle like it's their job. Sometimes this is anxiety. Sometimes it's rigidity. Sometimes it's, I need control. The third role is the solo kid. This kid needs space. They're the one who's like, I just want to be left alone. And in sibling dynamics, the solo kid often gets cast as, quote, mean for having boundaries. We're going to protect this kid's no because no is allowed. The fourth type of kid is the boss kid. This kid tries to control play. They want to direct the game, the rules, the pacing, the script. And when the other siblings don't comply, it becomes a blow up. Now, when you know the role, you know the skill. Instigator needs a plan for stimulation. Rule lawyer needs structure and fewer courtroom hearings. Solo kid needs protected space. Boss kid needs practice with invite and pivot. Okay, quick myth bust because these roles can trigger guilt fast. And guilt, friends, it's not a parenting strategy. Here are 3 lies that Summer tells you. Okay, here's my quick myth bust. Myth number 1, if my kids are bored, I'm failing. Nope, boredom is allowed. Myth number 2, siblings should entertain each other. Nope, they can play together sometimes. They are not required to be each other's full-time engagement plan. Myth number 3, if I don't fix this fast, it'll explode. So I should jump in and solve it. Sometimes it will escalate, but the answer is not you becoming the cruise director. The answer is a plan that interrupts the pattern early. And here's our line again. Boredom is a cue, not a crisis. Okay, now that we know the roles, let's talk about the plan. Here's the plan. It's built for sibling houses and it's easy to remember. This framework is called the Sibling Spark Plan. Spark, skill, space. Spark. Boredom is a spark. It's data. It's the early warning before poking becomes a blow-up. Next is skill. Then we coach the skill. Boredom is revealing they need. Invite, hear no, pivot, get stimulation without provoking. And finally, there's space. If the system heats up, poking, looming, provoking, we create space early. Bodies separate. Then we repair. That's it. Spark, skill, space. I'm going to say it again. Boredom is a cue, not a crisis. I want to give you an immediate quick win right now. 2 sentences you can use today with your kids. Here are the 2 sentences. Sentence number 1, boredom check. Do you need a snack, a movement break, or help getting started? Sentence number 2, you can be bored, you can't be mean. That's it. That's your on-ramp because this does 3 things. It names boredom as information, it offers support without entertainment, and it sets a boundary without a lecture. I like to kind of think of this as like the sibling constitution. Now let's talk about the part that makes this episode truly different from summer structure content, teaching sibling skills on purpose. Here's a secret that changes everything. We don't teach pivoting during the explosion. We teach pivoting when everybody's regulated. So we pick a calm time. Maybe it's dinner, snack time, right before bed. And we do a 90-second practice rep. You can say something like, okay, summer skill for this week. When your sibling says no, what are your 3 pivots? You can say to the first kid, tell me yours. And then to the sibling, you can say, now you tell me yours. Then you write them down and you can say, great. Those are your pivots. Your sibling is allowed to say no, and you are allowed to feel disappointed. And your job is to pivot. That's it. That's practice rep. That practice rep makes the real moment so much easier. Okay, now let's talk about the skill part, the actual sibling protocol word for word. Okay, here's the protocol. You teach it once when everyone is calm. Then you run it all summer. Step 1, invite, don't demand. Here's a script you can use. Do you want to play Legos with me for 10 minutes? Do you want to do crafts with me for 10 minutes? Do you want to blank with me for 10 minutes? That's it. An invite, not a demand. Step 2, no is allowed. This is the part that reduces sibling resentment. You're allowed to ask. They're allowed to say no. No is allowed, even in summer, even when one kid is lonely. Step number 3, pivot. Pivoting is the missing skill for so many kids. So each kid gets 3 pivots, not 12, not a Pinterest board, 3. Some examples you might use are a Lego bin, an audiobook plus some drawing, maybe doing chalk or a scooter, making a puzzle, a 5-minute helper job around the house. Now here's the coaching line. This is what you say when your kid gets a no. You got a no. You're disappointed. That makes sense. Now your job is pivoting. Pick A, B, or C. That sentence is the rep. That sentence teaches disappointment is real, and I can handle it, and I can move forward. Now the space part, because this is where parents either end up coaching or end up refereeing all day. Here's the key idea. Say it with me. Poking is smoke. Poking is the early sign that the system is heating up. So we separate early. Not as punishment. We use it as prevention, as a nervous system reset. You decide ahead of time, where does kid A go? Where does kid B go? What are they allowed to do there? What does ready to join look like? And then, this is important, your words stay small. 1 sentence. I'm seeing poking. Separate. Then we repair without shame. Here's your repair line. Reset. You're both allowed to be annoyed. You're not allowed to poke. What's the plan now? Feelings are allowed. Harmful behavior is not. We're going to move forward. Now here's a quick environment tweak, because if pivots are hard to access, kids will default to poking. You don't need to run the whole operating system here. You need 1 tiny environment tweak, 1 bin per kid. Maybe each kid gets a small bin or basket with their top pivot stuff. Not everything they own, their pivot stuff. For example, kid A might have markers, paper, a Lego bag. Kid B might have puzzle, drawing pad, maybe there's an audiobook queued. And you pick 1 outside default activity. It could be a chalk bucket by the door, water play bin, bike in 1 spot. This matters because when boredom hits, starting is often the hardest part. If they can grab a bin, they can start. And starting prevents poking. Okay, let's talk about parent lab time. 2 scenes so you can hear what this sounds like in real life. Parent lab number 1, when there's boredom and poking and you get recruited. Okay, here's the scene. Maybe you're trying to work or cook or make a phone call or just exist. You hear footsteps. You feel the energy shift. Now, an old parent line might have been, stop, go do something, I'm busy. And then what happens? They hover, they poke, they tattle, the volume rises, you get pulled in. Now, the new version is you run spark, skill, space. You start with the quick win, boredom check. Do we need snack, movement break, or help starting? Then the boundary. You can be bored and you can't be mean. Then the skill, invite or pivot. There's no poking. And if poking starts, you can say, I'm seeing poking. Separate. Then there's repair. Reset. Being annoyed is allowed. Poking is not. What's the plan now? This is short, calm, repeatable. This is where I practice saying less. Less works. Now let's go to scenario 2. This is the demand play meltdown. This is where your calm structure matters most. This is where you might hear, make them play with me and have the meltdown. So an old parent move is just play with your sibling or stop being mean. And then it gets worse because now it's not just boredom, it's rejection plus injustice. Here's your new version of what you say. You can invite, you can't demand, they're allowed to say no. Then you validate. I know that's disappointing. Then you coach the skill. Now your job is pivoting. Do you want help choosing or do you want me to pick? If they demand you pick, you can pick pivot A, B, or C. or I can pick for you. You choose. Then you step back. That's the rep every time. Now, sometimes we might have a blow up with our kids if we don't catch it early because we're human. Here's a quick repair script for after the blow up. Sometimes it already blew up with your kids. You're already past prevention. So here's the repair. 2 sentences you can say. Sentence 1, that got out of hand. We're resetting. Sentence 2, next time, the first sign is blank, and then we separate. That's it. You're not doing a full TED Talk. You're not processing every detail. You're teaching the next rep. And if you want one more line, you can add, we can be annoyed. We can't poke. Now here's a quick work from home mini module, because boredom gets loudest when you're the least available. I'm keeping this short on purpose, and here's the spicy truth. If the rule only lives in your head, it's not a rule. It's a surprise. So we make it visible. Here are 3 pieces. Where can you be? How do you ask for help? What counts as an emergency? Now, emergency is blood, a fire, vomit, unsafe, you're truly hurt, locked out. Not emergency can be like boredom, he looked at me, a marker crisis. Your repeat line is this: I am working, use the signal, I'll check at the timer. That's it. Now here's a troubleshooting sprint, because your brain wants a plan for predictable times of wobble. If your kids reject every pivot, shrink it to 2 choices and set a timer. If boredom turns into poking fast, separate earlier than you think you should. If no triggers a meltdown, coach pivoting and offer controlled choice. If they only want you, do 20 seconds of connection, then back to the plan. If afternoon goes feral, plan the window first. Snack, movement, a quieter activity. Here's the fried parent version, because your capacity as a parent matters. And we need a version that works when you're running on fumes. This is where we talk about the minimum viable day. Here's the minimum viable. If you can do one thing, create space, separate bodies, prevent the blow up. If you can do 2 things, you might have a boredom check, 2 pivots, and timer. If you can do 3 things, you might do spark, skill, space, plus the repair line. That counts. It counts. And here's the exhale scene. It's 3:45. The kids are outside with chalk. You can still hear them bickering, but it's a lower volume. You take 1 sip of a lukewarm cup of coffee and think, okay, not perfect, but not on fire. Let's talk about the optional long game, because these skills get better with reps, and a shorter timeline helps your brain feel grounded. If you want a simple timeline, do a 7-day experiment. Day 1 and 2, we teach, invite, and no is allowed. On days 3 and 4, we choose 3 pivots each. And days 5 through 7, we practice separate early and repair fast. These micro celebrations matter. Hey, you pivoted. Hey, you heard no and you didn't poke. Hey, you separated it and came back. You're celebrating the rep, not perfection. Okay, friends, let's talk tiny wins. Remember, pick one is enough. Tiny win number 1, micro connection. Spend 20 seconds of connection before you redirect your kiddo. You can say something like, I see you. Maybe you give them a hug, and then you pivot. Tiny win number 2, a micro boundary. It might be something like, I'm not available to referee, then follow through once. Tiny win number 3, pivot cards. Each kid picks 3 pivots. Write them down. Tiny win number 4, separation plan. Choose 2 separation spots and the repair line. Tiny win number 5, 1 sentence today. Boredom check. Snack, movement break, or help getting started. And here it is again. Boredom is a cue, not a crisis. As we wrap up this episode, there are 3 quick favors that I'd like to ask of you. Favor number 1, leave a review wherever you listen to this podcast so more tired parents can find the show and we can all feel a little less alone on this parenting journey. Favor number 2, share this episode with a friend, especially the friend whose summer soundtrack is Stop Touching Each Other. Favor number 3, snag the Summer Without the Spiral workshop replay plus the Summer Command Center guide. That's the whole summer system, screens, routines, resets, so you're not reinventing summer every morning. It's linked in the show notes. Okay, Take a deep breath with me, drop your shoulders, and let's wrap this episode up. If it's 10 a.m., your laptop is open, your kid is bored, and your siblings are one, he touched me away from chaos, you don't need a perfect summer. You need a return to plan. In this episode, today's return to plan is spark, skill, space. Treat boredom like data, coach the sibling skill that's missing, and create body space early enough that you don't have to spend the rest of the day refereeing. And when it gets wonky, which it will, you're watching for the early smoke, the looming, the poking, the narrating, the volume creeping up. You're saying less, you're separating sooner, you're repairing fast with one sentence, you're using the 2-sentence repair after a blow up, and you're using the friend-parent menu on the days you don't have extra capacity. Because sustainability matters more than intensity. And the next time you sit at that tiny round table in that tiny chair, remember, schools have expertise, and you are the expert on your child. Your insight is not extra, it's essential. You're not behind, you're building a partnership, and you're building skills, yours and theirs, one small, doable step at a time. Until next time, my friends. Thank you for hanging out with me on Psych to Parent. I'm Dr. Amy, your not-so-typical school psychologist, and I'm genuinely glad you're here doing this work instead of quietly white-knuckling it and blaming yourself. Your tiny win from today's episode is simple. Do not overhaul your entire parenting style. Pick one idea, one sentence, or one tiny shift and try it in a low-stakes moment this week. Then notice what changes, even if it is just by 1%. If you want more support, head over to psych2parent.com. You'll find show notes, simple scripts, and parent-friendly guides that go with these episodes. While you're there, make sure you join the Tiny Wins mailing list so you get weekly brain-based tips, real-life examples from my work with families, and first dibs on new workshops and resources. It's the easiest way for us to stay connected beyond the podcast. If this podcast was helpful, it really does matter when you tap follow or subscribe. Leave a quick review or text it to a friend who is parenting a big-feeling, big-hearted kid too. This podcast is for education and encouragement. It is not therapy, and it's not a substitute for individualized care. If you're worried about your child or yourself, please reach out to a trusted professional in your area. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are building something new, one tiny win at a time. I'll see you in the next episode, probably with a cold coffee in hand, cheering you on.